Hi there YouTube, Diamond Flame 45 here with another anime figure review and unboxing. We're gonna have an anime figure haul, specifically an OshiNoKo haul. It's actually been a while since I did a haul because all of my figure orders for March just kept getting delayed. But finally they arrived, so I'll get to it. But you might be wondering, why OshiNoKo specifically? Well, for those who don't know, OshiNoKo is pretty much a series about this idol who gets murdered by a ravenous fan, but in reality it's more of a series providing like social commentary on like the dark side of the Japanese entertainment industry. But honestly, there are some parallels like even tied to like more Western American entertainment industry as well. Like, look, if you guys keep up with the news, look what happened to that new documentary about Dan Schneider on Fight on the Set. So it's amazing how many parallels are there to that series that apply to like modern day life now. So besides that, I really like the series. I think it's one of the best series that has come. It may not carry the hype like most Shonen Jump series, but if you're into like more intellectual, like social commentary kind of series, like I highly recommend it. I'm actually caught up with the manga, so it's very good. I'm too impatient to wait for the seasons to appear in anime. So without further ado, let's get started because I pretty much got a huge collection of OshiNoKo figures, specifically We're gonna start with some price figures and work our way up to like the premium scale figure. So it'll be a nice video review, pretty much comparing the differences between the quality of the scale figures and also to see how much figure quality has improved throughout the years. Because I remember when I first started collecting back in 2013, we didn't have that much variety in terms of figures. You either had price figures or scales. There wasn't any between. But now in 2024, collectors have so many options now, so it'll be great. So without further ado, let's get started with the first figure. First figure we're gonna start unboxing will be none other than from FuRyu's new line, Trio Tria figure. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is FuRyu's, it's hard to pronounce that, FuRyu's line of price figures. So see how she looks and fares. The thing about FuRyu, I think they're trying to do everything. Like, I know they have like a price figure line, they have a mid-tier line, they have a scale line. They're just trying to do everything. FuRyu is trying to be that girl, I guess, doing it all. But overall, the box is pretty cute. Very nice. I actually bought this figure at my local Japanese mart. I think it's not Tesco. It's the one it's a Japanese brand that has the picture of the teddy bear. It's not Tesco. It starts with a T. I'm gonna put it up on my screen because I was just surprised they carry this figure. Because most of the time the figures that we do carry are like some Van Presto figures, and I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Van Presto. I think their quality is too cheap. So let's take her out of her box. Oh wow, here is the figure, and of course the base. It's pretty well packaged for a price figure. So here it is. Let me remove her from the bubble wrap. So here is the first figure we're going to be reviewing from my March OshiNoKo Eye haul, and it's the FuRyu's Trio Tria figure. And honestly, looking closer to this figure, she has a very nice sculpt and paint job for a price figure. Like with price figures, my expectations are that the sculpt's not gonna be very sharp and the paint job is gonna be very flat with like a shading. But honestly, when I look closely to her, she's very well sculpted. Her face has a nice sharpness to it. Even her hair is sculpted on front. Sure, the back of the hair might look a little bit clumped up together, but there are separation between the strands of hair. And I like the fact that her shoes have a nice black polish, a matte polish to them, matte finish. Well, a nice glossy finish to them. Sure, there are some paint smears here and there, specifically on her shoes, as you can see right here. But for the figure as a whole, she really has a very nice sculpt and paint job. Like, you see some shading on the front of her chest, even some shading on the skirt as well. Even her panties are kind of well colored. I think they're like a glossy black if you're interested in seeing them. But overall, very nice figure. And of course, she's pretty easy to assemble. You just put her on the base like so, and there you have her. Wow. Yes, this figure is very impressive. I honestly thought this was going to be the weakest of the price figures I got, but he's very detailed for a price figure. Like, man, like, price figures have stepped up their quality in game the past decade, honestly. Because when I first started collecting as a young weeb back in 2013, my first price figure was a Van Presto Mommy Tomoe figure. But man, the quality back then was so shoddy. Like, the paint felt very like chalky, and it always tear off the figure, and the sculpt wasn't as sharp. It was very rounded. But at the time I was a broke college student, so figures couldn't be choosers, right? But for this figure though, it's very impressive. Like, her hair sculpt's really sharp. There isn't much gradient, but there is an amount of shading that makes it pretty noticeable. That it's pretty nice. And of course, I think her base is really nice compared to some of the price figure bases we're accustomed to, especially when we compare them to PopUpParade's just lacquer white disc. But overall, very good figure. Love the eyes, her face sculpt, her cute little two fangs on her mouth. Even her little bunny accessory is painted well. Overall, good start. Highly would recommend her into your collection if you want a very affordable eye figure. Like, I literally purchased this figure for $29.99 from that store I mentioned earlier. Very cute. So without further ado, let's go to the next figure. So the next figure we are going to review is another price figure, but from a different manufacturer. And this time it's going to be a Coreful figure. So it's another eye figure, but from Taito and the Coreful line. Honestly, from my experience, Taito is hands down the best price figure manufacturer in the game. Like, I'm just amazed by their quality and sculpt of their figures. Sometimes I think they're way better than PopUpParade's. So let's see if Taito delivers pretty well, because the FuRyu Trio Triad figure wasn't bad. I do like her box though. The thing I noticed about price figures, their boxes tend to feel a little bit flimsy compared to like scale figures or Nendoroid boxes. So maybe that's how they keep the price down. Let's see. Oh wow, I like the cute little star effect they have on the top of the lid. Dear Lord, she looks really nice, and I haven't even taken her out of the box yet. Like, wow, like Taito. So here she is, fully out of her box. She comes from a base, and the figure itself, really cute. So let's put it together. The thing I will appreciate about price figures is that their assembly is very simple. You stick it in, fully assembled, and I must say, this eye figure is just gorgeous. Honestly, I think this one's way better than the FuRyu one, hands down. But to be fair, Taito has been in the game longer for price figures than FuRyu. Correct me if I'm wrong. But let's talk about the highlights of this figure. First of all, I love her hair. This is a figure hot take. I actually like translucent pieces, especially on their hair. I love translucent hair, and I think it's a great and cheap way to show gradient instead of to show like shading on a figure without actually shading it, because it gives the appearance of a gradient. And I just like the fact that her hair sculpt is so sharp and separated, plus the translucent pieces. Love the fact that her hair also wraps around her arm a little bit. That's a nice little detail. What else I can say about this figure? It's really beautiful. Her shading on her outfit's not bad. Like I said before, I don't expect that much shading on price figures, but for this figure, it's very well detailed. And of course, her leggings are nice. The thing about this figure though, like, her shoes are not glossy like the FuRyu ones, but they're still nice. And this one doesn't have as many paint arrows as the FuRyu one did. She's really cute. I like her face sculpt and her eye decals as well. Love the fact that there's hair separation between the strands instead of appearing like a giant clump piece like the FuRyu brand did. Honestly, I think she has the most dynamic pose out of the figures I've reviewed so far. But let me get the FuRyu one back again so we can compare them next to each other. Oh wow, they look pretty nice, but honestly, like, I'm definitely gonna lean more towards the FuRyu, I mean not FuRyu, the Taito eye, because I just like her hair sculpt more. Even though they're both the same outfit, the Taito eye, it's just a little bit much more sharp in detail compared to the FuRyu one. Don't get me wrong, the FuRyu one's pretty big. It has some size to it. But I think the sculpt and the paint job done on the Taito Coreful eye is a little bit better. But I do like the direction FuRyu is going. Give them some time. I think their quality is just gonna improve. But overall, really good price figures of eye. But I'm gonna lean towards the Taito one more, hands down. So 2 down, 3 more to go. So we've gone over the FuRyu's Try It figure eye. We went over the eye from Taito's Coreful line. So the next one we're going to compare is none other than the PopUpParade. So let me get her now. So here we have the eye PopUpParade. I'll be honest, it's been a while since I purchased a PopUpParade figure. The last PopUpParade figure I purchased perhaps was Kirito and Asuka back in, I think it was like a year or 2 ago. But back then they still had like the hexagonal basis. Now they transitioned to like the disc basis. So we'll see how it'll go. Pretty much with PopUpParades, this is my expectation. PopUpParades are consistent and being inconsistent. But when they're consistent, they hit. So let's see how this eye PopUpParade fares. Love the little tiny texture on the box. Like the PopUpParade title actually has like sparkles. It's holographic. Even the back of the box. I will say this about PopUpParade figure boxes. They kind of remind me of Alters. You know, with the open face figures. Like you can see the figure through the clear box. It gives it like a premium feel to it. Even though like these are technically like price to mid-tier figure lines. Let's open her up. Here's the eye PopUpParade out of her box. So she comes with, of course, the standard PopUpParade bases, which are like your white or black disc. It's pretty basic compared to the bases we saw for the other figures, like from Taito and FuRyu. The figure itself, and of course she comes with her little mic. Let's assemble for her now. And there you go. She pops into the base like so. So let's talk about the strong points of this figure, because people tend to hate on PopUpParades, which I understand because they're consistent and being inconsistent, but this is one of the rare cases that the quality is top notch. The first thing that catches my attention for this PopUpParade is the glossiness of her boots. Like her boots actually have a pink gloss to them, which is great because I think you can find that pink gloss on a scale figure, but the thing is, though, that's a scale figure, and you don't want to be paying for scale figure prices. But this is the thing that catches my attention the most from this PopUpParade figure. The really nice glossy pink paint on her boots. Ooh, love the sculpt on her hair. It's very sharp. Like I can actually prick my finger here, touching it a little bit. Like there is shading, bit of a gradient with her hair, because it starts from a dark purple and then you see little tips of pink at the end. Love the fact that there's separation between her hair strands. Very nice and sharp sculpt. I think it's a little bit better than the Taito hair sculpt, a little bit better, because there's a little bit more separation. And you can see actually the strands. Love the painting on her little hairband accessory. There's a little bit of a paint smear here and there, especially on these little stars you see on top. But other than that, the paint job on this PopUpParade figure is very immaculate. Ooh, love the shading on her outfit. Like with PopUpParades, you shouldn't expect much shading from them, but they do have some shading, a little bit more compared to some of the price figures I've seen. I think the shading here is a little bit better than the Taito ones, than the Coreful one, but not by too much. Her face sculpt is really nice, pretty sharp. Love her eye decals. Like the thing I like about eye This design is pretty much her eyes. Eyes. A little bit of a joke, right? Very well done. The thing I'll say this about PopUpParade, even though they tend to skew on the smaller side, when their quality is consistent, it hits, because this is one of the best PopUpParade figures they have released by far, because the paint job is nice, the sculpt is nice, the pose is pretty dynamic, honestly. Love the shading on her ruffles, because there's actually shading on her ruffles of her skirt. And there she is, the Eye PopUpParade from GoodSmileCompany. Let's bring up the other price figures we looked at as well to compare them side by side. So here's the Coreful, and here's the FuRyu. So looking at these directly, and especially from the back, I think the best one, hands down. Ooh, it's gonna be tough, but I'm actually gonna lean towards the PopUpParade in this case, because even though it's a tiny bit smaller, the paint job and sculpt on this eye figure is amazing for a PopUpParade. Probably one of the redeeming PopUpParade figures that GoodSmileCompany has released in a long time. PopUpParade figure releases have been very missed and shoddy, but she turned out very nice. Love the glossiness of her boots. And I think that the Coreful one comes in a close second. Like, they're both really nice, honestly, but the paint job on the PopUpParade's a little bit better than the Coreful. But they're both cute though. And of course you have the FuRyu one. Now that I have the FuRyu trio tri-figure next to the Taito and the PopUpParade, it's nice, but the sculpt is not that sharp yet. It feels a little bit crumpled up together. But of course, this is FuRyu's attempt into the price figure line, so perhaps it'll improve in terms of quality as they release more figures. But overall, I recommend the PopUpParade, Taito, Coreful Eye as a close second, and of course the FuRyu if you want to get her one, the trio try it. But really nice price figures. I'm just impressed by the options we have now. So now let's start going to the more higher tier figures. So the next one we're going to review is actually going to be a new line from FuRyu, and it's called Tenitol. So I think FuRyu markets Tenitol as like their mid-tier line of figures. They're comparable to the quality of a PopUpParade, so we'll see. But now that I think about it, like their trio tri figures are definitely more on the price figure quality, but it's still a nice figure. So without further ado, let's get into the Tenitol figure. So here is the Tenitol scale figure from FuRyu. So this is FuRyu's attempt to hit the mid-tier figure market. And honestly, it's pretty big. It kind of feels like a 1/8 scale, but we'll see. So this is my first Tenitol figure from FuRyu. But of course, I also had their first price figure as well. I have ordered scale figures from FuRyu before. My Hatsune Miku scale figure right there in the back, the one with her original outfit, it's really good quality. I'm very impressed. I think that's the best Miku scale figure released recently of her original outfit by far. Highly recommended. She's pretty cheap right now too in the aftermarket. I remember I got it for like $200 when she was first released, but now she's close to like 160 on MFC. So if you can snag her, highly recommend. So wow, this is a pretty big box. Here she is out of her box with her plastic packaging. Oh wow, she's pretty big. And of course, since I don't like missing out, I got her with the extra faceplate because she's released without the faceplate. But if you order her through like their FuRyu website or whatever, and honestly, she was pretty cheap. She cost me in total $85. But if you wanted to get her without the faceplate, I think it was like $20 cheaper, like $65, which is pretty good price considering this looks like the size of a 1/8 scale. And androids, heck, even big ones are starting to cost more than that. You know, big ones are like going for $100 now. But you're getting a scale figure for less the price of that. So highly recommend this. So let me unbox her. So here is the eye figure from Tenitol out of her box. So she comes with three main things: the figure itself, the little microphone, and this cute little bass. And of course, if you got her with the extra faceplate, let's put her together. I'm gonna put her first with her default faceplate. Let's see how easy it is to assemble. That took a bit. Ooh, that took a bit to assemble her. When assembling her, I highly recommend putting the heart piece first to the base and then attaching her leg to the pink heart afterwards, because that took longer than I expected. But anyway, here is Ai and her default faceplate, and honestly, very nice figure for FuRyu's. Honestly, I think FuRyu should invest more on their Tenitol line than their Trio Tri-figure line, because this is a really nice quality figure for $85. But if you got her without the faceplate, it would probably been like $65, which is still good. Like, she looks like the quality of some of my 1/8 scale figures from GoodSmileCompany. The thing that catches my attention for this figure is obviously her hair. Like, there are separations on her hair strands. The sculpt is very sharp. There's a nice grading for her hair. It starts with purple, and then at the end you have these pink tips. Really nice. I like the sculpt of her body as well. Her face is very cute. There's a little bit of a roundness to it, but everything else is done very well. Breathtaking and catching. Like, this outfit's pretty much similar to the FuRyu and the Coreful one, and I can tell this is more of a mid-tier quality figure, because there is shading, but there isn't as much shading as you find from an actual scale figure. But for $85 for this is really nice for a mid-tier line. I love the fact that they put more effort on their bases as well than some of the scale figures. Like, it's cute, simple, effective. I like the light pink and the dark pink parts contrast very well with the base, and I like how they made her pose much more dynamic by incorporating it to the base, as opposed to having like those plastic leg pieces that they give figures to keep the figures in balance for being dynamic. I wish figure manufacturers would do this. Incorporate the pose into the base, so then you don't have to rely on those ugly plastic support stands. So this is her with her faceplate, her default faceplate. Let's switch it up and give her other face. I actually probably prefer the other one. So to get her other face, I'm just gonna remove the hair piece. And there you have it, with her nice winking face. I'm actually gonna keep her with her winking face because I think it's very cute. I like it more than her standard default faceplate because it gives much more energy. What do you guys think? Do you guys like her with the extra faceplate or the default face? But very nice figure. This is gonna be a top contender for FuRyu. I think they should definitely invest more on their Tenitol line, because their Trio Tri-figures, like, this is really nice for the price point. So take all the ones we reviewed so far. So we have reviewed FuRyu's Trio Try It, Taito's Coreful, GoodSmileCompany's PopUpParade, and FuRyu's Tenitol line. Now let's end off the video with the one we've been waiting for the most, the Kadokawa Ai. And honestly, I think that's going to be the best Ai figure in terms of scale quality in the market, because the other ones that have been announced aren't very nice in my opinion, because there's one that FuRyu is releasing that has her in this outfit, but honestly, like, it's more than twice the price of this figure, so you're better off getting the Tenitol one than FuRyu's, because it's the same outfit. So these lovely beauties right here. Now let's get the actual scale figure. Last but not least, we have the creme de la creme, the Ai figure from Kadokawa. And honestly, I think this is the best Ai figure by far in the market. I was fortunate enough to get her with the extra faceplate because I purchased her off GoodSmileCompany's US spring sale. So normally she retails around I want to say $180. She was on the spring sale. I was able to get it for $150. That included shipping, so good deal for this figure. So I'm excited. So let's open her up. I do like the box for this one. It's very idol-like, very colorful. It pops up for me. So let's open her up. Man, I highly recommend checking out their sales because I've been noticing a trend with bigger manufacturers in the US. I remember back in my early days of collecting, GoodSmileCompany would rarely have any sales, but now they do. Like they had a spring sale. They also had like an end of year sale. Like keep an eye out for those sales for GoodSmileCompany because you might get some really good deals. So even code Boogie does something similar as well. They had a spring sale as well. So I'm glad that a lot of these bigger manufacturers are doing that because you know we Americans, we love our sales. Out of her box, so the scale figure itself, her microphone, her base, and of course her extra faceplate if you were able to get it. So let's put her together. Here she is fully assembled. So here you have I fully assembled and out of the box. Ooh, that took a little bit longer than I thought, honestly. Just be careful when assembling her leg to the metal peg because it's kind of hard to get it in there unless you angle it properly. But here she is. But overall, this figure is just breathtaking. I think, of course, like what do you expect from a scale figure from Kadokawa? Like the sculpt and paint job on this figure is on point. Similar to the PopUpParade, love the glossiness of her boots. I think that's the main selling point of this figure, like the glossiness of her boots. That really nice glossy pink sheen to them. Her outfit, the sculpt job's done very well. I like how the frills on her dress are sculpted well, and you actually see shading between the layers of her frills. Of course, that dynamic pose and her face sculpt is on point as well. Love the details on her eyes. Her face actually has a bit of a sharpness to it as well. Like her mouth sculpt actually has a little bit of a tiny fangs there. Love that little detail right there. Of course, her hair. There's her hair by far out of all the figures we saw her has the most shading. The hair sculpt is very dynamic and flowing, very sharp as well. Love the fact that her boots actually have a nice yellow undertone to them as well beneath them. Of course, love the paint job on her little heart brooch and her little hair accessories as well because the other one didn't have that much of a detail, honestly. Very cute and energetic figure. Love how the pink and yellow contrast so well. And honestly, I actually prefer her default faceplate because it's actually a winking face more than the extra faceplate because the extra faceplate is just her with her eyes open. But I'll still will show you how it looks like. And there you have her with her extra faceplate. Honestly, she looks really, like I said earlier, she looks really nice with her extra faceplate. At first I was a bit skeptical because I like the winking face more because it's a little bit more dynamic, but she looks pretty good. I'm content with either faceplate, honestly, so I might choose this one or the winking face, we'll see. But overall, this eye figure is just top tier. Like Kadokawa doesn't miss when it comes to their quality control. Like the paint job's excellent, the sculpting, the shading. Like I said, my favorite aspect of this figure is the glossiness of her boots. Very premium feel to it. And of course her hair will be afterwards, then the sculpt of her outfit. Overall, best eye figure by far. Highly will recommend. So let's get all these lovely ladies together. So there you have it, y'all. This is my March anime figure haul. As you can tell, lots of eye figures. I'm a huge OshiNoKo fan. And it's nice comparing the quality of all these different manufacturers. Because, like I said, back in the day, we didn't have that much in terms of choice for figures, but you have scale figures now. You have mid-tier figures like this Tenitol. You have PopUpParade's Coreful, and of course, you have FuRyu's Trio Triad line. But if I were to make a recommendation, if you wanted to get a good scale figure but without paying for scale money, I would highly recommend the Tenitol because overall, the Tenitol figures are the same size of a 1/8 scale. You have the paint job's not bad either. Like we compare it to the Kadokawa one, doesn't have as much shading, but way better than the PopUpParade, that's for sure. In terms of like the size and the price point, because the PopUpParade cost me like around $50. This one $85, but like I said, but if you got her without the faceplate, extra faceplate, $65. So 15 $15 price difference just to get a scale quality figure. And don't forget that there are Nendoroids and Figmas. Figmas that cost more than this. Like Figmas are hitting like the $100 mark, which is ridiculous. But overall, these beautiful ladies were definitely worth it. Very content with my March anime figure haul. For April, I'm very happy for it because so far none of my figure releases have been delayed. I'm expecting my FuRyu Dark Paladin scale figure to come around mid-April. I also have the GoodSmileCompany's Scotty as well. I also have the Iono scale figure from the Pokemon Center as well, assuming she doesn't get delayed. So my April haul is looking pretty nice as well because the figures are actually being released sometime. My March is filled with delays, so that's why my anime figure review video took a while to put out, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like, I still want to get more practice doing this because when I come look at my analytics, it's been a month since I posted a video, so I need to get that practice in because I want to get better at it because I find the editing process and the content creation process very fun. So thank you so much for watching, y'all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. Let me know out of these figures which one you like the most. Honestly, I'm leaning more towards the scale figure in terms of quality, but the Tenitol is not bad. And of course, the PopUpParade, Coreful, and FuRyu have their own appeal as well. It just depends which one you gravitate more, but just tell me on the comments which one's your favorite. Thank you so much for watching, y'all, and I'll see you guys in the next haul. Bye!